Hello, everybody. Welcome to another conversation with the Three Geeks Podcast. Today, we are joined by Jesse Kove, who was recently in Cobra Kai. Jesse, how are you doing today?
I'm great, man. Thanks for being here, and I'm excited to be talking to you guys.
Likewise.
Absolutely awesome, man. So let's start from the beginning. Where are you from?
Los Angeles, California.
You've been there your whole life. So you grew up near the acting industry.
Yes. With my dad, of course, being in the industry, grew up around movie sets, and I've been fortunate enough to travel the world with him, which has been great. So I've been very fortunate that way.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
No, go ahead, Scott.
You also did Broadway in New York. Is that correct?
I did some off Broadway. I was doing a play out here, and it was called the Columbine Project. It was actually all about the Columbine shootings. Pretty heavy material, but the story was great, and telling the stories of the individuals. And it got picked up to go to New York, so I drove cross country with a friend who was in the play, and was there for a few months. Had family fly out, and it was great. I think doing theater in New York is like the true thespian art form that everybody should experience.
When did you decide you wanted to start doing acting?
I've always been around it my whole life, the creative side of film sets and that whole art form. And I didn't really start doing it professionally until I was 18, but I was always in like my high school plays and making movies. When I was a kid, I was making movies with my camera with my like toy soldiers and stuff, so that was always a lot of fun. And then my parents and my dad especially never pushed me into the industry. And so when I was about 18 is when I started doing it professionally, got an agent, and I just went out there and started, booking roles and hitting the pavement.
Nice.
So let's start from the beginning on this IMDb journey.
Oh no.
Actually, no, I'm going to skip a little bit because I have a thing for Christmas movies. You were in Christmas on the Menu. Can you tell me about it?
Well, I got to know. Tell me about your thing with Christmas movies.
If it's a Hallmark thing, he's seen it. I think that's probably the key thing.
I like Christmas movies. They're very happy.
They're so happy, and they're also the most fun to be a part of. Like doing a Christmas movie is unlike anything else. It's so it's just so fun, and it is happy. The set is happy. They've got like the Christmas decorations everywhere. It's really a fun project to always be a part of as a Christmas movie. But Christmas on the Menu just came out over this past Christmas, directed by Jake Helgren, who's a buddy of mine, and the whole movie surrounds like food and this. We shot it up in Big Bear. And it was, this family opens up like a bed and breakfast, and then, the main girl comes in, played by Kim Shaw, and I work at this bed and breakfast, and we used to be, we're old flames together, and it was just really fun. My friend, Clayton James played the other lead, and it's just this beautiful romantic story of people falling in love around food and Christmas. It was a blast with the backdrop of Big Bear.
So starting out, you did quite a bit of TV. What was the first day?
Oh, wow. First day. God, I haven't talked about first day in a while. First day was kind of ahead of its time. It was a web series produced by the producers of Gossip Girl. And it was basically Groundhog Day for this girl. And she relives her first day of high school every day over and over and over again. And I play like the young jock guy who she ends up, trying to impress every day. But towards the end of the series, which was 10 episodes long, she realizes that she just needs to be herself in order for anybody to like her. So it's a really, really nice story. We had a blast doing that. God, that was a while ago.
2011, I believe.
Yeah. Had a great time doing that. That was a lot of fun. I literally remember, it was so funny. I remember doing that audition, and I was so upset at how I did. I was like, I called my manager at the time. I was like, I'm done. This is ridiculous. I'm over this. I don't want to go through this process again. It was like, I can't believe how horrible I did. And like literally an hour later, he's like, Jesse, they loved you. They want to offer you the role. And I was like, that's it, man.
I love that they keep remaking Groundhog's Day, like in different formats. It's fantastic.
You can do it with anything, which is so great. Which is I think the fun part about it. I mean, next they'll do Groundhog Day in space, which would be great.
Well, they sort of did with that Tom Cruise movie where he keeps dying and coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Live, Die, Repeat. Love that movie. So good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, you mentioned your dad didn't like push you into acting, but once you decided acting was your career at 18, was there a lot of phone calls to dad and mom and say, "Hey, you guys lived through this. What's some of the advice maybe that was given?"
I mean, I was kind of, I guess you could say I was kind of like the hinges were oiled a little bit going into it, having grown up around it. So I had an idea of how things worked, and I felt very comfortable on sets, which I think is really important for people, is just like when you're on a movie set, just to feel really comfortable. And so for me, it was like I was just kind of going into something that I was already really familiar with, and it was just about going to the next step.
Sure.
And I even to this day, I'm still, I audition like everybody else. Even for Cobra Kai, it wasn't just handed to me on a silver plate. I think that in that whole process, is great. It's just part of, learning and obviously, grinding it out as we all do for the work. And, it's always a good experience. But yeah, I mean, obviously I still chat with my dad all the time about, maybe character work or what he thinks about the writing of this, like, Dad, what do you think? Is this weird? Is this written kind of strangely? And we come to each other. We're like a bouncing board for each other for certain things, which is great.
That has to be awesome.
Now, I know Cobra Kai isn't the first time.
He's reading scripts from like Quentin Tarantino, and I'm reading freaking, some monster thriller. What are you reading there, Dad? Oh, just, this scene for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. All right. All right.
Now, you've worked alongside your father a few times throughout your career. Is that strange? Like the first time, was it kind of weird? I know you guys said you bounce things off of each other, but like, what is that experience like?
In the beginning, it was interesting because I had to differentiate that this isn't my father talking to me. This is a character, or this is like, my dad directed me in a couple small things we did, even like some plays. But I had to be like, okay, this is not my dad giving me direction. This is like the director, the creative part, because I had to get out of that whole it's like you got to do this again. And I had to it wasn't we were fighting. It was just really like the creative side of him coming out, and I had to make that. I had to draw the line of okay, this is not Marty Kove, my dad, yelling at me about something about my laundry. You know what I mean? So it was really funny. And this was when I was, much younger. I was like 17, 18. And so that was that. But then now I swear, I say it all the time. It's literally like summer camp. When he and I work together, we laugh all the time. We're always giving each other little hints about, oh, why don't you try it this way and see if you can make the character do this. And, he'll be on set visiting me. And, he'll give me little notes about something. And I always take him usually because, he's just really very observant. And I do the same thing for him. And it usually always ends up working out well. And we love working with each other. We've done a numerous amount of projects. This one right here, a D-Day, which I did, he had a fun little part in that I brought him on. So, yeah, it's just we love working together. Our dream is to be on some series together or doing a Western movie together, which we would love to do.
Do a Western series. But what was the journey like auditioning for Cobra Kai?
It was awesome. I mean, I was really excited about it. When I first got the call that they wanted to see me, I was flattered, of course, for one. And then, I've been around it. I've been around Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, probably more than anyone, except for Ralph, Billy, and my dad. And so I knew this world. I knew what was kind of required, and but I really wanted to bring something fresh to it at the same time. And I went in for the audition, and I remember talking to the casting director. I said, how big of a dick do you want this guy to be? And they're like, we want full on. We want people to hate him. And I said, okay, great. I can do that. Runs in the family. And so I did that. It was great. I felt good about it. And I did. It was a funny thing because usually when I do auditions, I don't usually feel good about them, which is funny because you never know if you're going to get them anyway. But this one I felt really good about. I did everything that I wanted to do. And about a week and a half later, they told me that they loved it. They actually had to send the tape to John Josh and Hayden down in Atlanta because they were already shooting season 3. They had already started, and my dad was already down there, and so I got it, and I was so thrilled. Called up my dad; he was so excited, and then I got to work and flew down to Atlanta. They did a whole training session with me and Hiro Koda, who's the stunt coordinator on the stunt team, and rehearsed that in the Cobra Kai dojo that they have down there. And that was a great experience. We had a lot of fun. I'm still posting some fun videos from that that I haven't put out yet. And it was just that was the audition process to the beginning of when I got on the show, which was so much fun. So much fun.
How great are John, Josh, and Hayden?
They're amazing. They're literally, I've sat with them with my dad, and we've all had cigars, numerous times, and being out with them in the world. And they're just like, it's as if you three went and made a TV show. They're literally like, and I say this in the best way possible because I consider myself like a nerd. They're like movie nerds that went and made a show because they know what people want and it's what they wanted to see. Wouldn't it be cool if, Ralph Macchio and Johnny and Kreese all fought each other? Like, they just, and then all of a sudden they make it happen, like we've waited 30 years to see that happen. And they're so intelligent and they're so smart and they literally think of storylines like seasons ahead. They literally, they think of something that they're going to write here because in literally a year, this is going to happen. So they really break those characters down and they really want to bring in, all kinds of, new stories, and they're just so fun. And they love what they do. They love Karate Kid so much. Like, it means so much to those guys. It's, and then being with them on set was just so much fun. It was just, they love their work and they appreciate it so much. So they're a blast. Those guys are just a blast. Yeah.
They said that Karate Kid was like their Star Wars.
It is. Yes. Yeah. And they trickle in like little bits of, like, I don't know if you remember at the end of season 3 in episode 10, literally the music is Star Wars. Like, the music is Star Wars. When Johnny walks in and you see my dad with aka Kreese with Robbie, it's like this like moment of like Darth Vader and Luke and Palpatine. It was like this weird, it was amazing,
Yeah.
You got similar kind of like story beats and setups that aren't necessarily like, it's just like kind of trickled in there like homages almost.
Yeah, absolutely. Every movie that they've loved, they like put it in there and do that. It's so great. They think of all that stuff.
Yeah, honestly, when Cobra Kai started, I knew them from, because they'd pretty much been famous for the Harold and Kumars and then the Last American Pie film. I had no idea, I love all of that stuff, but I had no idea like how warming they could be in a television series and like how well they could bring the drama, and they really brought it very well in this show.
Yeah, they're really like incredible craftsmen of storytelling and the journey that all the actors go on, and then the history of Karate Kid. They're just like mavens. They really know the characters. It's not like these guys just came in that didn't understand that world. These guys know it. They know the story. They know the characters. They know the history of the show. They really, and they do it with so much integrity. They really honor, because Billy, Ralph, and my dad, they had offers to do stuff like this for years, and but they take care of these characters. It's part of who they are, and they really they take a lot of honor in portraying them and respect. It's their legacy. So when someone comes along that wants to do something with them about that, they really look at it and they really dissect it and make sure this is the right move for them. And so, thankfully they did, and this is what was the outcome, because they really entrusted John, Josh, and Hayden.
Yeah, my fingers crossed for Hilary Swank. But what was it like when you walked on set?
Oh, it was great, man. It was a huge day. There was this diner that they had rented out, and they had they had 15 cars from the 60s that were there. They had a lot of extras. It was just a really massive day. I remember driving in the transport van with Barrett Carnahan, who plays young Kreese, who we had met earlier that day, who's just a great guy, and we've become friends since. And I remember rolling up going like, wow, this is like way bigger than I thought this was going to be, like this moment. And this moment was all about he and I, and then, Betsy, and played by Emily Palmer. And it was just amazing, man. It was a great feeling. I felt like $1 million. I was excited to be there. And, as we were doing the scenes and rehearsing, it was like, I felt very comfortable in the environment that we were shooting in and what was going on. I, obviously studied and then all of a sudden we had shot a couple scenes, and then all of a sudden here comes my dad trickling in the back. And, it was this really surreal moment of like fulfilling legacy and wanting to make him proud, and also doing my job, what I love to do, and fulfillment for myself. And it was just this really cool moment. I mean, for me to even join the Karate Kid universe, the OG Karate Kid universe, was just really special. And I love it just as much as people who, truly love the movies and the shows. I respect it greatly. So for me to be a part of that was really something I just, I'll never forget.
Are we going to see David again in season 4?
God, I hope so. That'd be amazing. It'd be great. I'd love. Would you like to see David again?
Sure. Yeah. I think he should join Cobra Kai.
Yes, we play, man. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. John, I hope you guys hear that. Love you guys. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. There's been all these like crazy theories online I've seen where like, well, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but the car that I drove, that was actually the original car that Miyagi gave Daniel in the first Karate Kid movie. That's the one, kind of like this really cool little Easter egg that they had, that I was driving that car. So there's all these theories like, oh, did Miyagi get it from him? Did he, where did that come from? And when I read the script originally, I actually thought that young Kreese and I would end up going to war together and becoming like buddies. I didn't think I was, I knew I wasn't Terry Silver or anything like that, but I thought that, we'd fight each other, and then like we kind of maybe would go to war later on and make up. And then, the whole bit with the girlfriend or something, like, don't worry about it, man. Like, she's better off with you anyway. You know what I mean? Something like that. But it worked. What they did was beautiful. What they created was fantastic. And, Barrett just killed it. I mean, he absolutely did an incredible job. And it was so fun to work with him. But yeah, it was really, it was awesome. It was just awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned Terry Silva. This show is so good at bringing legacy characters back.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They made you earn. They earn the alley reveal at the end of season 3.
Yeah, you have no idea, right?
Yeah, they don't just throw it all out. Like when Full House came back, the first episode, they literally threw everybody in the episode for no rhyme or reason. But no, the Cobra Kai guys they're really good about knowing what should fit where without it being too over the top.
Yeah, and and again, that's like to their brilliance. Like even when my dad, when he came in on season at the end of season 1, he had to be hush hush about that because nobody really knew. He kept telling people for a year he had to be silent, which he hated, but rightfully so. There was that scene at the end of episode 10, season 1, where like Johnny looks at like the picture of him at the All Valley, and you're kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be great if he was back? And then he comes in, it was like everybody, the mic dropped, and it just was perfect. And you're so glad that they did that. It's almost like how, remember like Game of Thrones would do that? You'd just be like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. What just happened? So I think that they do a little bit of that, which I think is beneficial because you just never know what's going to happen. The school fights at the end and the fight in the house. And I mean, they're just all these surprises, which is great. And then I think they do the same thing with the characters. So it, keeps you on the edge of your seat, who's going to come back. And also, as you guys know, like, because you're huge fans of the movies and stuff, there's such a slew of characters that could come back and pop in and, whatever. It's incredible.
And I've heard the guys hint at Hilary Swank in interviews too. Which
have they?
Something. Yeah, they have.
Okay, cool. I mean, that would be, if they did that, it'd be just brilliant. I mean, I'm sure if they presented that to Hillary, there's no way she wouldn't not want to do it. There's just no way. I mean, especially with, the alley coming back, it'd be amazing.
Oh man, I was so happy for you guys when I found out it was going to Netflix. I'm like, finally.
I think I got a lot more mainstream attention because I remember having the YouTube subscription. Guys, you got to watch this YouTube show, and everyone's like, whatever. And like literally within a week of it going to Netflix, I had friends like, have you seen this show, Cobra Kai?
That's hilarious. I know, dude. It was really, I mean, thank God for YouTube though, because they're the ones that like kind of pave the road for the show, which is great. Yeah. And when you think about it, all the events, as horrible as, COVID is and everything that's been going on, if you're just looking at Cobra Kai in itself, the journey that it's been on, like it truly is like this like it's like this underdog, because it was this small show on YouTube, and then which did really well, and YouTube gave it its shot, and then here it is, like they were in a bidding war between like Netflix and Amazon, and then all of a sudden it went to Netflix, and then they were able to drop season 1 and 2 while everybody was home, and then they dropped season 3, like what was it, 4 months later or something like that. I mean, it was like crazy. When have you ever had that whole like just influx of Cobra Kai for any show all at once? It was just, so the way that it kind of slowly rolled out was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, the timing was just perfect.
Yeah, so it's been having been part of the team with YouTube and watching it happen, and Netflix. It is definitely a step up, and obviously the reach that Netflix has, because people want to see the show and they love the show. So it's just great that they're able to be on a platform now that everybody can pretty much watch around the world.
Well, Jesse, you have been great. What do you have coming out soon?
Dude, have you seen my movie Max Reload and the Nether Blasters?
I have not yet. No,
that sounds awesome.
You guys have to watch this. I mean, even look at the trailer. It's Kevin Smith is in it, Greg Grunberg from Star Wars and Star Trek, Lin Shaye from all the Insidious movies. It's literally an action, gaming, science fiction comedy. Like these guys, these kids run and I play this really funny character. These kids run this video game store. They find this like old like Coleco video game and they play it, ColecoVision or whatever. They play it, and all of a sudden, like the characters from the game embody people in the town, and they start taking over, and like they have to save the world. Basically, it is so much fun. It's like a PG version of Grandma's Boy meets like Ready Player One. It's amazing.
Sign me up. I'm in.
Right? So that's a great one that just came out. Obviously, my Christmas movie had just dropped. I have another film I'm doing there it is right there. And then if you can see my dad, who's got a small fun part of the top right next to Kevin Smith. And then you see me all the way on the left with the broomstick on the left side. So I mean, look at that poster, dude. How can you not want to watch that movie?
I definitely do.
It's just like classic 80s, like
yeah, everything you see is in the movie. All that stuff is in the movie. They got the DeLorean
down. Yeah.
You guys will love that. And then
looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a blast. It's such a blast. Shot the whole movie in Phoenix. It was directed by Scott Condit and Jeremy Tremp. Dude, you guys should have them on the show. I'm gonna have you guys talk to them. They'll love it.
I'm 100% down.
What was I saying? That, and then I have another movie for Lifetime that'll be out called Recipe for Abduction, which is fantastic. I'm shooting another romantic comedy in Nevada in about a month and a half, and then I have like a couple other products. Can't really go into too much detail about, but some really, really great stuff in the works. And then obviously my dad and I are teaming up to do some more together, and just a lot of exciting things happening, man.
Where can people find you? You got like social media?
Yeah. So
all the usual.
Most active on like Twitter and Instagram, of course, which is at Jesse Kove, JESSEKOVE. There you go. You got it there. And yeah, I'm very active on my social media. So, if anybody wants to tune in or, send me a message, I love connecting with the fans.
Awesome. You'll hear from me soon. But thank you again for tuning in, and thank you everybody for watching. All of the links to Jesse's stuff will be in the description below. And from all of us, have a great day.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.